Here's a fascinating, maybe even a little unsettling idea to chew on. The world that you see, the one you hear and feel, it's just not the same one that I experience. We're going to break down exactly why that is, and more importantly, how technology is beginning to take advantage of that very fact.
I mean, it seems like a really simple question, right? When you and a friend are looking at the exact same painting or you're listening to the same song, heck, even watching the same news report, are you really having the same experience?
Well, the short answer? It's not even close. And look, this isn't just about having different tastes or opinions. This goes way deeper. It's about the fundamental way our brains are actually wired to interpret, well, everything. Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we need to dig into the work of a theorist named John Montreal. He's the one who came up with this core idea that really is the foundation for this whole explainer. This concept of a divergent reality. Montreal's whole point was that the world is kind of like one of those abstract ink blots. It's totally open to interpretation. I mean, think about it, right? The same national anthem could make one person swell with pride, while it makes another person feel sad or angry. A particular smell might remind you of your childhood, but for someone else, it triggers a completely different memory. Every single one of our senses kicks off a totally unique response in each of us. So this brings us right to the core of it all. It's not like our minds are just passive cameras, just recording what's out there. No way. They're active engines, constantly interpreting and constructing a unique version of reality from the exact same raw data. And that, right there, is what theorists have dubbed divergent reality. Okay, but here's the thing. This isn't just some high-level philosophical idea. It's actually backed by some pretty hard science. So let's dive in and look at the clues that are hidden deep inside our own biology and our own minds. So what is actually going on in there? What's the secret sauce that makes your reality so different from mine? Well, the answer is a whole mix of things. Everything from the literal wiring of our brains to the mental filters we've been building up our entire lives. It really boils down to three main buckets. First, you've got the biological stuff. I mean, tiny, tiny differences in our brain chemistry can completely change how we perceive something as basic as motion. Then there's the psychological layer. Our beliefs, our biases, they act like these powerful filters. Think about confirmation bias. It literally makes us see what we already expect to see. And finally, there's the sociocultural piece. Our culture gives us the very first lens we ever use to see the world. And you might be wondering, just how deep does this cultural stuff go? Well, it's pretty profound. Studies have shown that people from many East Asian cultures tend to see a scene holistically. They're looking at the background, the context, but people from Western cultures, they tend to zoom in on the main, most prominent object. And here's the wild part. These differences can be spotted in the first year of a baby's life. It can be shaped by something as simple as how a parent points things out to their kid. It's incredible. Okay, so now we get why our personal realities are so different. But this is where the story takes a major turn. A technological twist, if you will. Because all this science, it's not just sitting in academic journals anymore. Oh no. It is being actively used to engineer our digital worlds. You already know this stuff, right? You see it every single day with personalized ads or, your Netflix feed. But what's happening now is that it's evolving into something way more powerful. They call it hyper-personalization. AI systems are literally creating a one-of-a-kind media feed just for you. It's like an algorithmic reality stream, and its only job is to predict what you want and keep you glued to the screen. And right here is where a really crucial shift is taking place. Think about it. We used to have adaptable interfaces. That's where you were in the driver's seat. You chose your own settings. But now we are sprinting towards adaptive interfaces. This is where the system just changes things for you, automatically, often without you even realizing it. Sure, it's optimizing your experience, but it also means you're not fully in control of the information you see anymore. All right, now we're going to take this to a whole new level. We're moving beyond just influencing what you see on a screen. Now we're talking about actively, directly engineering perception itself, right at the neural level. This is where we get into something called neurostimulation. Put simply, it's technology that can talk directly to your nervous system. Now, this is already doing amazing things in therapies for conditions like Parkinson's.
But it's also being explored for things like enhancing memory, boosting attention, and even creating artificial feelings, like sensory feedback for people with paralysis.
A really wild example of this is something called the Kinvis illusion. It's a trip. Basically, what you see completely overrides what you feel. You're watching a screen that shows a virtual limb moving, and your brain gets tricked. It generates the very real physical sensation of your limb moving, even though it's perfectly still. It's a fantastic tool for rehabilitation for sure, but man, it's also a powerful reminder of just how hackable our senses really are. And that brings us to what some people call the final frontier, brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs. This is technology that creates a direct, two-way street between your brain and a machine. We're talking about controlling a prosthetic arm just by thinking about it. And this is the crucial part, actually feeling sensory feedback from that arm sent directly back into your brain. This isn't just about influencing perception anymore. This is about creating a seamless loop between the human mind and a machine. So, where does all this leave us? What's the verdict? Well, we're standing at a pretty massive crossroads. These technologies hold incredible, unbelievable promise, but they also raise some of the most profound ethical questions we've ever faced as a society. And honestly, we're just getting started trying to figure them out. It really is a classic double-edged sword. I mean, on the one hand, the benefits are just undeniable. You've got life-changing therapies, hyper-optimized learning, entertainment that's so immersive it's basically indistinguishable from real life. But on the other hand, the risks are just as massive. We're talking about the potential for widespread manipulation, the complete erosion of privacy, and a world where we all live in our own little filter bubbles, where the line between what's real and what's been engineered for us just dissolves. So it all boils down to this one enormous and really urgent question. As we gain the power to literally engineer the human experience, who do we trust to be the architect? Who gets the keys to our reality? That's the question we all need to start thinking about.